Right, so company law. There's been a change in regulations, and it's quite a massive shake-up of company law. So it's to bring in more sort of scrutiny and more transparency when it comes to directors.
It's far too easy to set up a company at the moment, isn't
Absolutely,
it?
yeah.
So it's literally, you can form a company to be formed in minutes.
And
Anyone can form. No real checks are done on that, really. If we're honest, are they really? It's not the huge. It's not the hardest thing in the world to do, is it?
And you can use a PO box as a register office,
which has changed, hasn't it?
Which has changed. So one of the changes that have been brought in straight away is there needs to be an email address which Companies House can contact the directors on, and that email address incidentally isn't shown on the public register. And then there has to be what's called an appropriate register office address, and that's basically an address where somebody can receive post.
So an accountant, for example?
Yeah, absolutely, or a virtual office.
Yeah.
And then there's more scrutiny as well on directors and who actually sets up a company. So there's going to be more sort of ID checks on them.
Yeah, because
especially overseas directors.
Yeah, the key thing at the moment is that when you set up a company, it asks for those 3 bits of information, doesn't it? Eye colour.
Yeah.
The last 3 digits of your eye colour. Last 3 digits of your father's.
And things like town of birth and
town of birth. Last 3 digits of your passport. Last 3 national insurance details. Last 3 digits of your phone number. Well, that's the only time you ever ask that. It never gets checked any other point.
No,
so,
that's right, yeah. But I think these changes have been brought about because of certain world events that are happening, such as the war in Ukraine, I suppose cost of living crisis.
Yeah, and it's the fact that it's tightening the restrictions now on, I suppose, the money laundering element as well again, isn't it?
Absolutely, like ID fraud as well.
ID fraud and theft and things like that. Certainly since we've come out of the EU as well, so we're now trying to sort of, I suppose, act for ourselves in that sense. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, so the changes that have been brought in immediately as of sort of 4th of March are the email address and the registered office. And then there's other changes that have been brought in sort of gradually. So things like fleeted accounts, where you just submit a balance sheet and minimum amount of notes. They're going to be a thing of the past. Abridged accounts, abridged accounts are going to be a thing of the past, and we're not allowed to submit abridged accounts anymore. And so instead of those, you'll have a profit loss account, a balance sheet, and there's added statements as well.
Basically, it's been more transparent.
More transparent.
Transparency is key again. Yeah. It's like other things that have been adjusted, the likes of your MTDs and things like that. More transparency there. Absolutely. Companies House are then doing their bit to make themselves more transparent, and that is to actually know who the director is behind these companies.
Absolutely.
Whereas
so it falls into line with like money laundering.
Absolutely, yeah. And as I say, it's one of those where certainly through past events, COVID, etc., when the companies have just been formed to try and get bounce back loans and CBILS loans, and then people have been disappearing off the face of the planet. This then means there's more regulation in place, more fail-safes and fallbacks.
Absolutely, yeah.
And more, I suppose, vigilance on Companies House's behalf as well. So it's not as easy to, jump off a plane at Heathrow or to and set up a company basically, and at the same time, it's not as easy for someone to suddenly go, right, I'm set up a company now, when they want more information.
Absolutely, yeah.